Oh. Natasha, Lauren, what's up?
They are ready.
What are y'all doing? You spend your Saturday on doing this.
Nothing wrong with that.
How's the pregnancy coming?
You want anything else?
No.
Oh, rolls. How could I forget?
We're waiting on Jen. Yeah, this is going to be real quick, like 30 minutes. Just want to do the part 4. I'm pretty much already clocked out with ɡiːn, obviously, but like I can't just leave people on that hook, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm known for that. Like, oh, what's in this room is like the worse than anything else, and then I just don't put out the episode. People are like, what the fuck? I mean, like I did with the Ghoul podcast, like literally 2 episodes, and then I did that same shit. But I'm sorry, this COVID thing just happened suddenly. Like Tuesday.
You don't have to apologize for that.
Tuesday I woke up and I felt awful. And did I not and I know I was kind of a baby with this sickness.
Yeah, you were. Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't do anything. I mean, I probably could, but I'm such a baby. I don't know.
Yeah, you are.
Has any one of y'all had it? Natasha, Lauren, have y'all had it?
Yeah, I gotta go get the link they posted.
Oh, you're good. Oh my God. And I'm still like sick. Oh, you had it, Lauren? I'm still sick. And it's been 2 weeks now. Oh, about 2 weeks. Tuesday will be the 2-week mark.
Yeah.
But I think I would rather have this than the flu.
I would agree. The flu, I had it, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I had remember you were like, should I take you to the hospital? I had a fever of like 103 for a couple days.
And that's like what I was talking about.
It was brutal.
Like, remember, because I had it first for like an hour. Yeah. And then I was like, I think I'm feeling sick, but I don't know. And then
I got it coming back from my grandmother's funeral, I remember.
Oh, okay. And then like the next day you're dying, and I still didn't get it.
Oh my God, yeah. Like I had a sore throat. Then when I came back, I remember from my flight, and I like took some vitamins and was like, oh man, I kind of feel shitty. And I woke up the next day and I had a fever of like 103, 102. And was just like hot, sweating, couldn't get out of bed. That was not fun. And I went to the doctor and they did the flu test and confirmed, and they did give me Tamiflu.
You know what's crazy though? So obviously we got it from Jen. Well, I'm not.
No, we know. Yeah.
Yeah, but so I got it first, and then you only got it like 3 days after.
I didn't get it until Friday.
So I had it on Tuesday. That's weird. Like, how did I get it?
Well, it could have been that the incubation period is that long.
Yeah, but I was like, that's almost saying like I got it from Jen.
And then I got it from you.
But so Jen did bring some cookies that one day.
Right.
And obviously she didn't like bite off. She didn't eat a whole cookie, but she ate like some of it. She didn't bite it off, but the only thing I think of is that I had that cookie. Because how would I get it and you didn't get it?
It could be like the incubation period is like 2 to 7 days or whatever. So it's possible that it just took my body that much longer to show the symptoms. Or I got it from you versus Jen. That is the other possibility.
I had it at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, where I had to quarantine for 2 weeks. And then my dad was in the hospital, and when he was released, we had to quarantine again. Jesus Christ.
Ugh.
Wait, I thought they have to pay you. So if you get it and you can't work, you don't get paid?
I do.
Holy fuck. man.
But
That's crazy. Yeah, you can't go to work, Natasha, since you work in the food industry. Like, I get that, but they should still pay you. I mean, what are you going to do?
some, I mean, companies have different policies around it.
This is like some of those, like you read these articles where it's like, oh my God, there's a teacher or a police officer that has been making money off OnlyFans. Well, yeah, I mean, you don't pay them enough. They have to fucking, they're doing what they can do. We do what the fuck we can do, you know?
Yeah.
Pay them fucking more and they won't be on fucking.
Right.
You think anyone wants to fucking do that shit?
Probably not.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, maybe if the pay was just that good. Hi, Hubble.
But it's like okay, well, you can't go to work and you can't get paid. Like, what the fuck do you do? Just not get paid for 2 weeks? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know?
Stupid.
Not come in. I'm sorry. I tried.
Huh?
He will not come in.
Well,
Who?
did you just leave the door closed?
Yeah.
Well, Stella can't get back in.
Oh, Stella.
Oh, shoot. Try treat.
I tried a treat. He found something to chew on out there, and he's chewing.
Oh, somebody saved something for later, I guess.
Man, I've missed this whole live streaming fiasco.
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 That's how you would describe this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've missed it too. I'm just still so tired. I really
Yeah,
am.
it took me a long time to research these stories just because of the tiredness. I don't know if you guys, who was on this. So we tried Monday to do this story, the Ed Gein one, and I was just done. Like, I was too sick. You know.
Yeah.
But this is my job,
Yeah.
you know.
I know.
Luckily, I can have this job.
Boo boo.
So, like, when I don't put out episodes, I don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? Which sucks.
Yeah.
But that's why we do, like, other hustles, too, like the Goodwill stuff.
This is true. Although we haven't recorded on that for a while either. I'm like just bleh.
Yeah. I'm talking about, like, selling stuff.
Yeah, we are doing that.
All right. I got him in.
Hi, Lou. Estelle's inside.
Yep.
Okay, good. Her burger can't fit through the doggy door.
She's inside. Hi, buddy. Sorry, y'all. My dog did not want to comply.
That's okay.
You gotta put it down. For the night. Like, not like kill it. I mean, that's... like,
Stop it. So not
I
funny.
really don't know why you hate my dog.
He doesn't. He just knows that it bothers you so much when he says those things. I've learned because
You've learned. Yes, you have.
I have learned. It is not dissimilar to things that my dad actually used to do when I was a kid.
That's
in
great.
learning
Gaslighting.
to tease because they think it's fun, but you don't think it's fun.
I was the kid... I was in elementary school running around...
Until 4th grade.
telling all the girls they have cooties and pushing them around and stuff. That was me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that.
You know, actually, at my school, we have a trophy from Gilbert.
Really?
Yeah, Gilbert High School.
Is it tuba shaped or?
It's
No.
not for me. What is it, baseball?
I don't know. It was like a tournament that they won at Gilbert.
What year?
I'll have to look at it. I'll send you a picture.
I have decided that acquiring said tuba, and that's all I'm gonna say, is on my life's bucket list.
Yes, agreed. I would love to take that trip.
Well, I can point you in the general direction, but I don't know.
It is honestly, I think this is a thing we must do.
Yes.
Y'all go do it.
First, we need to get a metal detector.
Well, back then it had pee in it, which is why we
I understand.
buried
it's
it.
It's been like 20 years though.
Yeah.
It's been dried. We can wash it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be like an awesome piece to have like hanging up in the living room.
I know. I wish I wouldn't have thrown away all those videotapes of all the vandalism we used to do. Like,
Okay, well, that was probably a good thing that you threw away.
yeah, but it's like you said, it's 20 years. I mean,
Is there's past the statute of limitations
Yeah.
on what you did?
we made the paper.
Not in a good way.
The cops used to come to our house all the fucking time. And my mom's like, you can't, like, my son didn't do that. Get the fuck out of here. You know, I was like the angel.
To your mom.
She stuck up for me.
When
Do
she
you know how many
should
times
not have.
she went to the principal's office for me? And then it was always the same. She ends up yelling at the principal, and then he thinks he did something wrong.
Yeah, that is actually the parenting
Yeah.
that's part of the problem with this
I know.
world.
Correct.
That's
but-
why I don't have kids. Like, I was so stupid. I would, obviously. I mean,
Yeah. I get it.
like the vandalism stuff. And like I would, now that I pay taxes and shit, like I know that the taxes is going to fix all the broken lights and
Yeah, correct. We pay taxes.
We pay your back taxes.
Like, do either of y'all, and this is not a pressure statement, this is a genuine question. Like, do y'all ever wonder what it would like to be what it would be like to be parents?
I mean, I definitely question at sometimes, like, what would it be like? But honestly, it's still not a desire I have. Like, I think it actually comes more from like a perspective of when we're older and not having children to like care for us, and feeling like that's maybe something that we would miss when I'm old. But I do not think that that's a reason to have children either.
I mean, I would if it's like if
Nicole wanted to have kids, if she suddenly changed her mind, would you try to have kids?
no. Because like you can't just leave them places,
Right.
True.
Like
Yeah, but that's why you have like
but that's just over here. And like Afghanistan, there's little babies running around all the time, pooping everywhere and with diapers and not diapers and getting thrown in the dirt. Like, where are your parents? Who cares?
That's more John's style.
I mean,
child rearing.
Well, here it's so ridiculous. Like, dude, you're not allowed to resell a child seat. How freaking stupid is that? What a waste.
Oh, it's a safety thing.
No, it's not. Good and damn
Okay.
well it ain't a safety
We're
thing.
not getting
it's
into
a
this.
money thing.
I understand.
All right.
I know what you're saying.
But it's bullshit. Like, stuff like that, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't, I don't like, I would let my kid go outside. He's going to poop everywhere. Go outside with the dog. What the fuck? I don't see anything wrong with that. If he can't use the toilet, go outside. The door's there, man. Like, what's wrong with that? I do not see anything
I
wrong
think
with
that actually is a potty training style.
But I would be looked at like a terrible father, But shit, I fucking pee out there all the time.
I
Like, what
don't
the
think
fuck?
I don't think you would be a terrible father. I think you would be a good father.
I think John would actually be a better parent than I would.
Well, I would be the one that, spare the rod, spoil the child type of parent, and she'd be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, like, I don't know. Like, I've just always wanted kids. That's something that I want. But then sometimes, like, obviously my sister doesn't have kids yet. Oh my God, no.
That is,
I tried calling you before, and now you can call me back later.
that is interesting. Like, it would be cool, Natasha, to have a mini me, like playing video games and, like I would love to be there. Like when my son like loses his virginity or smokes his first doob, I'd want to be there. Like, dude, sick, man. You fucking banged that chick. Fuck yeah. Now go and brag about it to everyone. I'm just kidding.
So, Jen, it is a good thing that we have not procreated.
But I mean, like, I don't know. It's just something I've always wanted. And then my sister doesn't have kids, but obviously I have Tara's kids, and it's just like, and sometimes
You can adopt.
I know, but I don't want to adopt by myself. Not yet, anyway. I barely, can make ends meet.
But you can trade in what's his face, Murphy.
No, that's not how it works.
He is You've got to stop doing this teasing thing.
It hurts. But like I love Murphy, but you know, I think at least I do a decent job of keeping something else other than myself alive.
100%.
That's not a plant. But like
Plants don't fare well.
correct. But
Are you making fun of my plant? That's obviously
no, I'm
completely-
worse than you. No, I am worse than you with plants. Like I cannot keep a plant
I'm not
alive.
bad.
I mean, like, how are the ends like black? I mean, that was
yes.
meant to be a money tree, symbolic of our success.
And now it's barren and dead. Yes,
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay. Glad we're on the same page.
But
there.
like
And it's, you know what? Fuck that. Whatever, man.
whatever, man.
I tried to bring it back.
don't
I
think
gave
it's-
it some water.
I don't think it's coming back. If
It's
the
not.
ends are black, it ain't coming back. How about that?
I probably shouldn't have kept pouring monsters in it.
Yeah,
maybe not.
that's-
I think
or
I'm-
peeing in
that
it.
ain't gonna do it.
I was like, oh, I haven't fed you in 2 weeks. Here's some monster.
That energy drink that I gave you is really good.
I'll be the judge of that. Rain. Is this got sugar in it? Mm-mm. Okay, good. Why's it got BCAAs in it? Is this a bodybuilding thing? Mm. You just want me to ingest this.
I drank it.
Just like you ingested me COVID.
Yeah, it's gonna be a couple years, Shen, before he stops mentioning it.
At least 7.
You cost us money. I'm just kidding. Oh, that's fucked up.
She didn't cost us any money.
Anyway.
What do you think?
I mean, it tastes like an energy drink.
Oh, okay. Well,
John's a connoisseur.
Was that even a sentence? What are you talking about?
Anyway,
Dude, that last story was fucking bad. I know.
that was very sad.
Has anyone done that story? I doubt it.
Prob's not.
Hey, also, I think we're going to watch something on Watch Party tonight. If you guys want to watch something.
Hellraiser 8.
did
Dude,
we end up
I'm
ordering?
Done with
Yes, I did.
Hellraiser,
Okay,
yo.
let me know how much owe you.
$1 billion. I'm done with Hellraiser.
Wow.
It was good, but then it's like the same thing. And plus, Hellraiser got fat. You saw him.
That's the one that you guys were watching last year, right? Where we
No.
were watching the one that was an artist in a gallery. and,
No.
like-
Oh gosh, that was
that
what was it called? The Wishmaker.
Oh, you wish
The
maker.
Wishmaker.
That was good.
That was a good one.
That was good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Awesomely bad. All right, let's start because the food will be here in 25 to 35 minutes.
Ooh, yay. Did we get rolls?
All right, so
I'm going into this next round 3 pounds heavier than I came out of it.
That's okay.
But that's okay. It's only 3 pounds.
That's right.
all right, so guys, I am just gonna go over some ɡiːn stuff. I'm just gonna finish this episode out. There were supposed to be like 6 episodes, but there's only gonna be 4, so we're gonna make this work. And
A limited series.
for you guys, just gonna let you know that how I do these is I'm gonna we're gonna talk about it and stuff like that, and then I'm gonna fill it in later, make it sound like we tried.
You should record us with standard reactions in case there's an emergency week or something.
Oh my god.
Wait, what? Then John will go, Jen,
Dad, pay attention.
stop petting the dogs.
But before
Put that thing down.
But before we go back to the house, remember I stopped on last time, and I said that this room, there was one room that was boarded off.
It was the attic, right?
Well, y'all know what it is, obviously, because I tried to do this on last Monday.
I kind of forget.
You don't forget what's in that damn room. Don't spoil it, but
I don't remember. I do remember wanting to come over, but then I was trying to take a nap and I couldn't take a nap. And by the time I was like,
well, I'm glad you didn't, because we didn't record very long.
I watched the whole thing.
Because I was like, it's really sick.
I was talking the whole
I
time.
know. We saw. She was there.
All right, so anyway, I stopped last time. We talked about all the stuff in the home, and then I said that there was one room that they found that was boarded off. That was the last to be opened, and what they found in the room was worse than anything found elsewhere in the house. Now, before I get to what was in that room, I actually kind of want to talk about some fake news real quick, because there was fake news with the Ed Gein story.
Really?
Yeah. So in a book that I read about it called Psycho, is it up there? Yeah. let
I
me get
see Edward Gein.
it. Hold on.
Are those more magazine comic books that you have to give
Yeah.
away?
God damn it, they're all over the fucking place. These are like nothing but the Ed Gein ones.
Oh, okay. Psycho killer.
See, I
Qu'est-ce
ordered
que
like
c'est?
literally all of them they made. So everyone's getting a fucking Ed Gein comic book, that's for fucking sure. Fucking titties. Alright. Also, if any of you guys want one of these books too, this book,
Would you say that Ed Gein is your favorite?
oh yeah. Yeah. Ed Gein, yeah, I would. Because I don't know, he just like he changed everything, you know? And he's like misunderstood. You know what I'm saying?
No.
He's not like I mean, yeah, he's a killer. He killed 2 people, maybe 3, well, maybe 4. But I don't know. Yes, I'm obsessed with this story. I think the story's crazy. I think it's the best true crime story out there. Next is obviously Dahmer. Dude. Because remember, we did other ones. Remember, I did Bob Berdella after that? I mean, couldn't even compare to Dahmer. Like, no one can compare to that guy. You know what I'm saying? It's just so out there. But, oh, what was I doing?
Lauren says you are killing her with dragging out this cliffhanger with what was in this room.
All right.
Yeah.
But when this story came out, the Ed Gein story came out, everyone wanted to get in the news. And this became a national sensation. And a lady who was sort of local, who kind of knew Ed Gein, but no one in Plainfield really knew who she was, came out and gave a full interview saying that she was Ed Gein's fiance.
Oh.
Yeah.
And a live person.
Yes. This lady's name was Adeline Smith, and they actually did have a real date together. And this is not a dead person.
Again, Ed Gein gets a date, and I cannot have someone carry a conversation with me.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, no more self-loathing. Go on.
Well, all right. So they had a date from what she said in the paper. Okay. She said that they actually went to see a movie, It's a Wonderful Life. They met in a drugstore.
Mary!
They met in a drugstore. He was buying an ice cream soda. Another reason I love this story, because he's in there.
So wholesome.
So in the town of Plainfield, like everyone knows
I'm
Ed
ready
Gein.
for Christmas, honestly.
There you go.
Everyone knew Ed Gein before this whole thing happened in Plainfield. No one really liked him, but he was that guy that recounted every true crime story. He's like the ones like, oh, did you listen to My Favorite Murder?
We have
Last
a
night,
podcast.
stay sexy, don't get killed. Oh, yeah? So he's that guy who would just recall all these lurid details about crimes and stuff to anyone. No one else gave a shit about true crime. This is fucking the 60s, the 50s. But he would just barf out all these lurid, sensational details about murder and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because he read all those magazines. Anyway, he would also do that at the drugstore while buying ice cream sodas. Like he would take in quarters and just refill ice cream sodas like a kid. You know? I mean, a grown adult. When he was arrested, you guys understand, he was nearly 50 years old and he's in there buying ice cream sodas.
So he is the intellectually disabled one, perhaps, not.
Oh yeah, I would
blaming
definitely.
Millum.
Yeah. Anyway, this woman, Adeline Watkins, said that she actually turned down a proposal from Eddie. But she says, quote, Eddie and I discussed books. We never read the same ones, but we like to talk about them anyway. Eddie liked books about lions and tigers in Africa and India.
Oh, and bears. Oh, my.
I never read any of those books. Now, obviously, that's not true. All they found in ɡiːn's house was like lurid true crime books.
And nipple belts.
So she came out and gave this full interview completely fucking lying. No one knows who she is. But what I'm trying to say is, and this is how media is, especially with fake news today. They're just so desperate to get anything. They'll just print whatever, you know? I mean, even if it's completely made up.
Well, yeah, everyone wants the upper hand on the story. If you can give more details than the next guy, you get more money.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, "That's right. He proposed to me. Not in so many words, but I knew what he meant. I turned him down, but not because there was anything wrong with him. It was something wrong with me. I guess I was afraid I wouldn't be able to live up to what he expected of me." Shit, I just like snotted on it.
You do sound much better than you did on Monday, though, I will say.
It's just crazy that, you know, I don't know.
John said to me the other day, he was like, "You definitely like don't even sound like you. I feel like I'm with someone else who's not my wife right now." I was like, "Oh, are you gonna get caught?" And so sexy.
Oh my God.
So she wasn't the first one.
Oh my
She wasn't the first one to claim that she went on dates with Eddie. Now she completely lied.
She wasn't the first, but was she the last?
She actually recanted her statement. She went back to that newspaper and said, "Well, it didn't happen like that." And if you read the article, nothing at all happened. She didn't even know the guy, but she got caught up in the sensationalism, seeing her name in the paper, you know? I mean, and they would print it, so she was like, "Yeah, we went to a movie." "Oh, no, I thought that I was thinking of someone else." Like, no, you weren't. Like, what the fuck? You know? So also people around the area who barely knew Ed or didn't even know him at all would give these crazy recounting stories about how they survived and almost was slaughtered by the Mad Butcher of Plainfield. Quote, "My daughter kept hearing rustling noises outside the house at night." One woman says to the newspaper, quote, "I thought she was imagining things. ɡiːn knocked on the front door and asked if he could come in. Said he might want to build a house and wanted to go take a look at ours," like right after she heard all the rustlings. "Nobody else was here, and for some reason I decided not to let him in. I guess I can thank my lucky stars for that." Another neighbor was setting the table. Now, and ɡiːn's never been to her house, but according to her, this is what happened. She was setting the table in her house, and Ed ɡiːn looked at her and said, quote, "You look like my mother."
Ooh.
Oh, no.
This actually made the paper as fact. This is fake news. All right. One of the stories that you can probably believe is the direct neighbor, Irene Hill, who Eddie would always...
God.
What is he doing?
He's trying to get a hold of me to ask me a question about something, but I called him back and he said he was busy and he would call me back later.
All right. So the only story you can really kind of believe, and even not so much, the neighbor, Irene Hill, who Eddie always used to eat supper with. In fact, he was there when the police came and questioned him. Mm-hmm. She said one time, quote, he ran his finger along the top of a kitchen knife that was in her kitchen, and he looked at me kind of strange, and then that's when he says, "You kind of look like my mother." Another one of those mother things. But the pinnacle of the fake news, and when it finally ended, was an article that came out. The title was, quote, 300-pound man recalls pinch and remark by ɡiːn. It says the following, quote, a 300-pound Nina barber who owns a farm near Slayer Ed ɡiːn's house said that the recluse pinched him on the belly once and said he'd, quote, just be about right for roasting.
Just right for roasting. That's like me talking to my Thanksgiving turkey. You look just right for roasting. Let me pick you out of the shopping cart.
Quote, I didn't think too much of the remark at the time, but I do remember �iːn had a peculiar look in his eye when he said it. Isn't that crazy?
That's funny.
You just be about right for roasting. All right, let's go back to the house. So I talked to all about these crazy macabre items found in the house, nipple belts, a mammary vest, skull bowls. I know she's not paying attention.
I am. Skull bowls. I am listening. I'm just trying to make sure he doesn't call me again.
Well, send him a dick pic. Send him my dick.
No. I've never seen it. I don't want him to see it either.
But then you had to put a caption. You just zoom in, you know. It's there. You just got to look for it. All right.
Oh, my God.
So I talked about all this stuff in the house, the nipple belts, the mammary vest, the lampshade lips, and we talked about where they came from, obviously the graveyards. He didn't kill all these people. He just dug them up, right? And he would take specific things. Like they asked him, you know, how did you do this? Because he never brought a saw he only brought a crowbar. So how would he take the head in certain cases? You just pull it off. He said he would work it back and forth, you know, kind of like you do like a fork or something until it finally snaps off and work it back and forth. And that's how he would get all the body parts off.
Oh, I don't. Oh,
Jeez.
Anyway, going back to the room that's filled with all that all those macabre items, there was one room that was completely sealed off, and they opened it last. But when the police finally opened it, they were in complete shock about what they found in it. And you guys want to take a guess? Do you guys know?
yes. So I don't want to guess and guess right, and you'd be like, "Oh no, she guessed it."
Well, we kind of went over this, but
It wasn't the mom.
It was a shrine.
There you go.
So in this room, they finally opened this room, and what they saw completely shocked them. It was a completely normal room.
Oh,
Everything was in apple pie order. There was a dresser.
apple pie.
The dresser, they pulled out the dresser, and instead of skulls and nipple belts, it was women's clothing folded to perfection. Now, everything was coated in dust. It was the mother's room. When the mother, Augusta ɡiːn, had died in 1947, Ed ɡiːn had blocked off that room completely and left everything as if his mother had never died at all. The bed was made to perfection. Everything was extremely organized, just how the whole house was in 1947. It was not the dilapidated mess it is now. So it's crazy to think about the psychology here. When his mother, Augusta ɡiːn, died, he blocks off that room, who he thought she was, a god, and then he lets the entire house go into complete disarray. So it's like night and day. His whole world is crumbling around him. It's obvious from all that shit and the hoarding situation and the dilapidation and everything else. But then they open the one room that was the mother's room, and everything is in perfect order. That is just, it just is mind-blowing, right?
Creepy.
Everything, they would pull the dressers out. All the clothes were folded to perfection. There was still that Bible sitting on the desk, on her nightstand, coated with dust, obviously, but not touched. Everything, the whole house was imploding in on itself, but that one room stood the test of time and was in complete order. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
When you think about it, I mean, I can see that happening. Like if I was living in my parents' house, I would probably want to leave everything the way that.
But you would probably go in and clean from the dust.
Yeah.
Because basically it was like sealed for.
Yeah, I don't know if I could go in there. Like, I don't know. I mean, I would, most likely. Like, you would have to, when you have an estate, you would have to, like, especially living so far away, you can't just
Leave it.
Yeah.
So they found a shrine, and it wasn't a shrine that he made, but it was so
It's like a crypt.
creepy. Quote, like Egyptologists breaking into the burial chamber of a pharaoh. The men who entered Augusta ɡiːn's living quarters that night were the first humans to set foot inside that sanctum, since it had been sealed off many years before by a worshiper who regarded it as the dwelling place of a god. So that should tell you a little bit about the mother. Now I want to talk about the background. Let's talk about the mother. I got to get through the father first. Let's talk about, sorry, I'm just getting way too ahead of myself here.
I'm Henry VIII, I am Henry VIII, I am.
Before we talk about the mother, let's talk about the father. As I mentioned in one of the previous episodes, the psychologist that talked about the schizophrenia and how much he studied it, he compared this to all of his other cases where if a sufferer of schizophrenia, usually from what he has discovered, has a weak, simple-minded father and a domineering mother. And that is the exact case with Ed Gein. Augusta, his mother, was completely domineering. She was all powerful, and George Gein, the father, was just a worthless drunk. He was a nothing. The mother disdained him. Anyway, he may have had a good reason to pity himself like this, because at 3 years old, he was left to be an orphan when his mother, father, and older sister drowned. They left little George there at 3 years old, home to do his errands and watch over the chickens, and they took the buggy to market to get provisions, and they drowned when the Mississippi River flooded. He became an orphan and self-pitied himself ever since. He drifted from occupation to occupation. He became a drunk. I don't know. No one knows why Augusta, the strong-willed German immigrant who has a large family and was a go-getter, would marry this worthless guy, but she did. I don't know what she saw in him, but they did get married.
Maybe he, like, worshipped her.
Augusta was devoutly religious, hefty calf muscles built for hard labor. She was German, and wherever she looked, she literally saw the workings of Satan, and she basically moved the family because she made all the decisions in the household. George was just some fucking worthless drunk, her husband. She was going to take care of her two boys, and to do that, she had to get them further and further away from Satan's dwellings. So she would move them from one isolated farm to an even more isolated farm until they had absolutely no contact with anyone on the outside. Because everyone on the outside, especially the women out there who wore the whore's makeup, they were of Satan's doing. So she wanted to protect her sons from that. She was a domestic tyrant. George, on the other hand, he would make little money. He would spend most of it at the bar. He would come home. He would push Augusta around when he was really drunk. And then she would fall on the floor and pray to her God that he smite the husband down and kill him. But she would never divorce, ever even think about it, because marriage was a final decision. So she thought everyone else was tainted fallen creatures, but for divorce, she says, it was unthinkable, a fundamental violation of her religious beliefs. If the Lord had meant to burden her with a bestial husband and a life of unrelenting labor, then she would not set herself against his will. Between husband and wife, carnal relations were a loathsome duty to be tolerated only for the sake of procreation. She was revolted by the act of sex. Quote, if God wanted us to enjoy the filthy act, he would have made it pleasurable.
Well, maybe she wasn't getting like what she wanted that way.
I guess not.
She would say the following, quote, "You have it your way, but you make it quick, you hear?" And then George would say, I'll have it my way, and I'ma have it my way. George would slur before prematurely ejaculating his way to sleep. That's what the book says.
Wow. That's something.
That's special.
So, now, Henry was born. Henry is Ed's older brother. They were pretty close, but a lot of people think that Ed ended up killing Henry after the father, George Gein, dies of being a drunk and heart-related problems. They were in their 40s, and a lot of people think that Ed actually killed his older brother because he wasn't as loyal to the mother as he was. So there was a brush fire, and Ed and Henry were trying to put it out. But when they found Henry's body, which Ed led the police officers right to it, they saw him burned, or from what it looked like, he burned in the fire. However, his clothes were not burned. He was laying on top of the burnt ashes of the brush fire, but he was completely cleaned. So a lot of people, and he had a bash on his head. A lot of people think Ed killed him so he could have his mother all to himself. And that's probably pretty accurate. Anyway, Ed was born on August 27th, 1906. His mother wanted a girl, prayed for a girl every night, but Ed came out and, quote, "This one would not grow up to be like the rest of them. Men, those lustful, sweating, foul-mouthed creatures who made use of women's bodies in such filthy ways. This one," she promised, "would be different. Augusta would see to that." So that was from the Deviant book. So Ed Gein, he did go to a small school, but like I said, Augusta kind of made it where he was just stuck in the house. All right, I'm going to skip forward a lot of stuff. You guys like this or not?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Augusta Gein dies, and this is how Augusta Gein dies. And once Augusta Gein dies, the mother, that's when things start completely turning around in Ed's head. So this was right after he had killed his brother, allegedly. She had a stroke. Now this was like an old age kind of stroke, but she survived it, and Ed was taking care of her. Now, there was one incident, the dog incident, where the mother tells Ed to go and purchase some straw, and they were going to do a trade for some other stuff from this local farmer. But Augusta didn't trust Ed to do this on his own and get a good deal out of it, so she went with him. This was after her stroke. All right, this guy's his last name was Smith. He was white trash with a short temper. When they pull up, he is beating a dog, his family dog, mercilessly with a heavy stick. He beats him until the point of death. And they're screaming at him, Ed and his mother screaming at him. And the thing was just horrible to witness. Anyway, a week later, Augusta has another stroke, and in 1945, she dies of cerebral brain hemorrhaging. All right. So, after that, Ed Gein becomes completely, he could not take care of himself. Now, he's 45 years old at the time. He's still living with his mother. She finally dies, and now he's just completely cannot take care of himself at all. So, at first, and this is 1947-ish, the mother has been dead for 2 years. He tries to be more social and stuff like that. He goes to different bars, and that's where you got Mary Hogan, because that's where that comes in. "Oh, you look like my mother." After this, he starts trying to bring the mother back. This is 2 years after she dies. All those cadavers and body parts that they found in Ed Gein's home, the main reason he had that stuff was because he was trying to part by part, a la carte or whatever, his mother back together with certain parts. That's why he had all the human noses in one box, and the vagina and the next box, and the face mask and stuff like that. because he thought by willpower alone he could actually bring his mother back. He first tried to rebuild her part from part, but then when that didn't work, he would dress up in the skin of the cadaver victims, the memory vest you saw, the nipple belt he would put around. He would put the vulva over his penis area, and he would don a skin mask, which was literally just the skin off of the skull. He would put it over his face, go out into the moonlight. He would wait until the moon was bright and full, because that's when he thought that the spirit realm or whatever it was in his fucked up head at the time would actually work. And he would dance around the mother's grave in a ritualistic fashion, almost like a rain dance, wearing all this like skin leggings and like completely donned in other body parts, right? I told you the story is fantastic.
I mean, it's
Fantastic.
It's
I'm
something.
not sure was the word I would have
It
used.
is something.
like he would, the skin mask he would put on with the eye holes that were, used to be eyes there. He would take a nylon cord and kind of rope it around. He would put a wig on from the, one of the cadavers, and he would try his best to look like his mother. So the people that he was digging up, which he would be watching reading the actual, like I showed you last time, the actual obituaries, he would wait till someone dies of a car accident or whatever the fuck of old age. And if they kind of looked like his mother or had a part, maybe the calf or I don't know, the butt or something, he would go and dig it up and dig that one part up and try to recreate his mother by putting it on him, donning it all, and then dancing around her grave in the moonlight.
Dancing in the moonlight, everybody's feeling wild and bright. It's such a fun and natural sight.
It was a, quote, sight that would have supplied any of Eddie's impressionable young neighbors with a lifetime worth of nightmares. Think about it. He is donned in this, and that's where you got Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Where the fuck do you think they came up with that? No one in human existence. Before this, you read H.P. Lovecraft and Poe, some of the best horror writers of our time, would never, ever think about ripping someone's face off and then wearing it as a mask. You can only come up with that if someone fucking did it like Ed Gein. You can't come up with that. Like, someone has to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where you have Texas Chainsaw
No
Massacre.
one's that creative on their own.
You know what I didn't know until recently was that Poe actually was stationed in Charleston with the army.
What do you mean you didn't know that
Jen,
until
there's a
recently?
Poe restaurant down here, and the library is...
Edgar Allan Poe Library.
What the fuck? How do you
I
not-
didn't know. I just thought I didn't know that's why it was there.
Oh my god!
I didn't find out until the night where I hurt my ankle when I was on the ghost walk.
That is far too recent for how long you have lived here.
Yeah.
He's got quite the history here.
Yeah.
The gold plug.
And the poem, he wrote a poem about the girl. I don't remember that.
Annabelle Lee.
Yep. He wrote a poem about Annabelle Lee.
That was Charleston?
Yep. Oh. Annabelle Lee. And they showed us the house that she lived in, and he would like go out into the alley and like.
Oh, I didn't know that was based here.
Yeah. Yeah. Annabelle Lee was a real person, and she died. The dad sent her to Edisto to live because he found out that she was seeing this postmaster, which was Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh.
Yeah. So, what anything else? I don't know.
Fascinating.
I'll fill in the other stuff kind of later with the confession. I know. Do you still want us to read the confession, Nicole and I, or whatever?
Yeah,
this
we
week?
can do it.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
I mean, it's pretty bad, but so Ed didn't want to. So obviously, this is a crazy story. Now, no one knows if he actually ate any of the body parts. He says he didn't, and honestly, I think it's more fucked up that he didn't, that he wasn't a cannibal. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Because, all right, it would kind of give him a reason to do it. Like, he is solely digging up these bodies to put them on as clothing, not to eat them.
And to bring back his mom.
Yeah, which is so fucking creepy.
Yeah, but it's... I feel like it would be worse for him to dig up the bodies and eat them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a cannibal, you want to have... Like, this is going to sound... I know this is probably going to come back to bite me in a soundbite, like, in 30 years in the future when everything is politically incorrect. But it is far worse to... Like, if you're a cannibal, you need to have fresh meat. Like, you don't want to have expired product. Like, that's just...
That's a good point.
Like,
that's a very good point.
Like, I don't go to the store and buy something that is 3 weeks old.
Right.
Or even, like, 5 days old.
You're going to get sick, man.
Yeah. So if you're going to eat something, it has to be fresh. That's why you have Subway.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying, like, it would make it worse if he ate the pre-deceased bodies.
That's a good point.
And when you say pre-deceased, it does sound like it's already been, like, processed. But, like, even so, like, pre-deceased, like, someone who's already dead, like, has all these chemicals and stuff in them. Like, you don't want to eat someone who's full of embalming fluid. I would say...
Great point, Jen. If I am ever going to try human meat, I will not go for someone up that's, already dead and buried.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Maybe I stopped a grave robber with my PSA.
Yep. Instead, they're just going to go kill somebody.
I'm just saying. Like, and plus, like, that's dead weight.
Yeah.
It's dead weight.
Literally.
I know, literally. But, like, if you're gonna cannibalize someone, wouldn't you want it, like, an organic source?
Yeah, I would totally eat all those vegans from California or whoever, just grazing on grass.
Grazing the grass is a gas, baby, can you dig it? I'm just saying, like, you don't want to eat someone who's full of embalming fluid or, like, you don't know how they died.
Full of chemicals.
You don't know how they died. They could have...
Preferably non-smoker, you know.
Like, what if they were a cancer patient and they had chemotherapy, but the chemo didn't work and they have all those chemotherapy chemicals in them?
That would not taste good.
I know that someone's going to be like, you are so insensitive talking about cancer patients. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to cannibalize, number one, don't. I do not condone that.
But you're right. If someone's going to be eating another human, they're probably not straight
being a cannibal doesn't necessarily restrict you to someone who is living. You can eat someone who has already passed on and still be considered a cannibal. But wouldn't you rather eat someone who has not already been dead?
Agree. I would agree. If we're gonna go that route.
I don't agree.
John has now tuned out completely.
I know. I don't agree with it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, if you're gonna do it, don't. But if you are, even after I said don't, then, like, just.
So if you're into psychology, this is the person to study. And I can't really explain this, but there is a theory out there that. I mean, why do you think he tried to bring back his mother?
Because he missed her.
Okay, well, she
was so domineering that he didn't know how to function without her.
All right, here we go. This is from Dr. Silvano Arietti. He is the leading authority on schizophrenia. Quote, the child who suffers on account of his contacts with the rejecting parent, generally the mother, tries desperately to preserve a good image of the parent. So the mother was not very not nice to Ed, but locked him up, didn't trust him to do anything himself. All right, hold on. He wants to feel that the parent is good. If the parent is punitive and anxiety arousing, which Augusta was, it is not because she is malevolent, but because he, the child, is bad. Mother is right in being harsh and strict with him and showing him how bad he is. The preservation of the good image of the parent is made possible by the removal from consciousness of the most unpleasant traits of the parent. Thus, the child will have two images of the parent. This is Augusta. The good image, you're a god, your room is a shrine, and then, which is conscious, and then the bad image, which is unconscious. So there's a theory out there that consciously he views his mother as, quote, all gratifying, supreme, sublime, and perfect. But at a much deeper level of the mind, he sees her as the exact opposite, a figure of utter evil.
Ooh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So it says the grave robbing, he's like split personality type thing. He's got this image of the mother that's good, and then the one that's deeper. I don't know if I believe that or not. It's kind of crazy. So anyway, I don't know. So do you guys know what happened to... So obviously he was mentally ill. I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't go to a trial per se. He was tried by a judge. He was tried, and before the judge even decided what to do with him, he had to get a 30-day medical evaluation, and then pretty much they were like, all right, let's just keep him, literally. And when he recognizes what he has done, then we can try him if he can, kind of understand what his defense is doing and stuff like that. And he did. They actually tried him again, and that was this book right here by the judge Robert Goldmar. This is kind of the second telling of it. When 10 years later, when they brought him back to court, but then they quickly figured out, this judge said, but they don't know what to do with him, because you put someone in a psychiatric facility to get them better. And once they're better, you release them. But in ɡiːn's case, can you do that? Because he can't, he's better, but he can't even function as a human.
Right.
So,
They're still getting
but
better.
how, if he's better, can we release him or not? We can't release him because he can't function as a human. But he can't go to prison because, it's like
He doesn't know.
he's literally in limbo at this point. Anyway, he dies when he's 70 something. But
Naturally?
yeah, of natural causes. And he when he was in prison, he had no idea that these movies were being made. Not in prison, in the mental hospital. They don't let him know what's going on. No news reporter could even contact him. So he didn't have any idea that the biggest movie at the time, Psycho, was about him. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's about it. And I'll fill in the rest later. But
Good old Eddie.
yeah, crazy.
That is a crazy story.
Yeah. So anyway. But that's about it for that. It's all the crazy stuff.
We should watch Psycho.
Yeah, we can. It's not on Amazon for free,
Oh,
but
I'll Venmo.
anyway, all right. I guess you guys, Lauren, you're still in here. Have a good one.
Thanks,
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys. Until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.